Hello board gamers. Today I'm going to talk about Lord of the Rings, the living card game. This is of course quite old game at this point, and it's already a reprinted edition I have here, but it's still amazing living card game if you like those type of games. For me, it represents the Magic the Gathering feeling best that I have seen in any solo living card game. So I was back in the day huge Magic the Gathering fan, so this is right up my alley. So yeah, if you are not familiar with the game, it's just a basic card game where you build your deck and you play different hero from the Lord of the Rings, and you are trying to complete some kind of scenario. And in this core box, you will get three different scenarios. One, which is kind of like tutorial. It's really easy. It doesn't offer you any replay value besides of the tutorial, in my opinion. Then there's a second one, which is one trick pony, I would say. Once you figure it out, you kinda are done with it. And the third one is quite hard. And it's really hard to beat with just the core box content. You kinda need to get some expansions to be able to make better decks and use better heroes, etc. You can defeat it with the core box, but it's quite hard. But basically, the core box offers solid foundation, and there is some gameplay here, but you pretty quickly need a little bit more. And what I did, I first bought the character packs. There are elf deck and dwarf deck, etc. And after that, I bought the whole Agnar Awakened cycle. There's also Dream Chaser, and what was the final one? I can't remember the name. And then there is the Saga box, Two Towers, Return of the King, etc. So yeah, there's a lot of reprinted content you can get. The old content that is not reprinted is highly expensive, and you have to buy it somewhere used, so that's not a good option. But yeah, the game itself, it's really solid still, even though it's quite old. And Marvel Champions is kind of doing the same thing, but it's maybe done a little bit more modern, a little bit better. They learned something from here. But for me, this is the best living card game there is for deck building. It has the best deck building I have seen. You can actually make quite crazy decks if you have a lot of cards, but keep in mind, living card game is expensive. It's pretty expensive if you want to get to that point where you can build a wide variation of different decks. So you have to spend a significant amount of money to get to that point. But you can just buy the core box, maybe buy one cycle or one campaign box, and you have a lot of replay value. From each of these campaign boxes, I believe they will give you something like 9 scenarios, and they are from easy to hard to really hard. So there's a lot of replay value. If you get at least one of these campaign boxes, you get tons of different scenarios. But unfortunately, this doesn't come with any hero cards, so this is only the enemy deck, and you need to buy the hero pack that comes with this to get more cards for you to build decks and play. The game is actually quite hard. For example, one scenario on here is kind of insane. It's like unbeatable. You have to be a really good player in this game. So yeah, I prefer to play it with two-handed solo. So there is a true solo or cooperative. You can play it with just one deck, one hero. That's okay. But I feel like when you add the second deck and you play two-handed solo, that's the right way to play it, because then you have a more stuff happening in the game. The different heroes, different aspects kind of work together. If you play alone, you are missing some features in the game. For example, you cannot block for your ally, you cannot use all the different combinations there are. So for me, the two-handed solo is the right way to play the game. And it's not that heavy task. It's quite easy to manage the two different decks, and it offers a lot more to the game. Also, the enemy decks function like if you are playing alone, you just draw one encounter card, and it's kind of boring in my opinion. And when you play with two-handed solo, you are drawing two, so there's more stuff that will happen, more things can go wrong, and it's just a better experience overall. So yeah, the game has really stand the test of time really nicely. It's like over 10 years old, if I'm not wrong. I believe it was released like 2015, 2013, something like that. And it's basically done at this point. They are not making new content, but there is tons of content to buy as reprint edition still. So it's nice. If you haven't yet played this game, I would prefer to get it. It's really amazing if you like card games, living card games, Magic the Gathering, stuff like that. Marvel Champions is of course the other option. It's quite similar. There are even some cards that are exactly the same. So there are similarities with these games. Setup time is really fast. You just have to build the deck for the scenario. And if you are playing the same scenario again and again, you don't have to do a lot to reset the scenario. If you have your decks already built, you just take your deck, you just shuffle it and start to play. So there is no real setup time at all. So it's really nice. Gameplay time varies a lot. It can be like 3 minutes and you fail instantly to some insane combo, or it can be like 45 minutes if you are tracking on the scenario and there are a lot of things happening, you are building your army and stuff like that. I have had games that are pretty long and games that end in few rounds, so it can vary a lot. Some minor complaint, I would say that if you get, for example, the Angmar Awakened campaign expansion, and you just own the core box, you are kind of screwed. There are elements that require cards that come from the Angmar Awakened hero pack, and it in my opinion will be impossible to play some of the scenarios without those cards. So they are kind of designed that you need to buy this and the hero pack, and together they are like 110 euros or something like that. So it's quite expensive. This is like, I believe it was 60 to 70 euros. So the core box, in my opinion, offers great value. And of course these two, but keep in mind you need to have other content also besides the campaign stuff, because if you don't have any cards to build your own decks, these scenarios, they will come impossible to handle, at least the hardest one of those. But yeah, if you are willing to spend like 200 euros, you will get both of these. You will get this cycle hero pack. You can buy several of the, I can't remember the names, but they are pre-made decks for elves, dwarves, gondors, stuff like that. So you can buy all of those, I believe, with that money. And then you will have huge collection. Let me show you what you will get. So here I have the core box and all the pre-made decks, and I believe I have Angmar and Dream Chaser hero packs. So you will get those, and then you will also have this full of cards for all the different scenarios you have, with just 2 cycle, all the pre-made decks and 1 extra hero pack. And you can still get more stuff. You can buy Dream Chaser campaign pack, you can buy, I can remember the third one there is, you can buy all the Saga box, there are 3 of those. So the reprint stuff is like, it's like an endless amount of content you can buy. So yeah, these 2 boxes alone give you tons of cards. So that's a lot of stuff you get with these boxes. So for me, this is one of my all-time favorite game. I just love to play it every time I have chance to play it. And it's so fun. When I first bought these, they were on my table for, I think, 2 to 3 months. That's really rare. I usually cycle my games through. I buy new games, try new stuff. I was just instantly hooked. I had to buy all the stuff. Well, I didn't buy all, but most of the stuff right away. And I did spend like a lot to this game. And now that I'm talking about this game, I kind of want to buy more and start playing this again. So yeah, you can see it's amazing game. It will hook you up more and more again and again. So yeah, it's just fantastic game. And as solo game, it's one of the best solo games out there. Maybe the best card game, but it's hard to compare it to Marvel Champions. They are both amazing. They are kind of similar. This might be a little bit more serious, more adult, I think. Maybe harder even in some aspects. It has more deck building than Marvel Champions, so yeah. But it's kind of, if you like more the Marvel franchise, you might like that more. Or if you're a huge Lord of the Rings fan, this is for you. Maybe that's the thing you are looking for. Because both of the games, they are amazing games. So yeah, that's my opinion. It's still amazing, even as it's an old game. It's a really, really solid experience, especially solo. And I also enjoy it as cooperative. It was fun like that also. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.